cool. Yeah, this is great. Cool. All right, you ready to play?
Yes, I'm gonna
Are you need music? Yeah, great. Go ahead. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty. That's pretty. I've never heard this before. What's movie did this come from?
It's 7 part 2, so
Oh, so yeah, God, like I can't even remember like half of the music. So much music is in the movies. Like this is
John
really pretty.
Williams, all these other composers.
Who who wrote this?
Yeah. He did all the music
it.
for the
Okay.
7th and 6th, I think.
Cool.
So yes.
Dan Coates. Yeah, he's a big. The person that arrangement.
Yeah.
He's a good
Dan
arrangement.
Coates is.
Yeah, he's all like he's everywhere and playing and writing everything. This is great. Um, this is really I like. Have you ever listened to like any music by Chopin before? Like
Yes, a bit.
a little
Yes.
bit. This reminds me of like a certain type of music that he wrote called nocturnes, and they're like really slow, pretty kind of lyrical kind of pieces that are similar to something like this.
I think I have heard part of one of those. Yes.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. The style of them are it's pretty similar to the same with this. You have like a moving left hand kind of thing, and you have like a very lyrical, very pretty right hand. I think that you do really good. Like I'm just giving you ideas of like people who play like you play this really well,
Thanks.
really well. I like it a lot. What is Let me ask you: is the left hand like really one of the hardest parts for you?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Um, have you like how do you practice this when you normally play? Can you just play just the
Um,
left hand by itself too, like so I can see how you just normally would play this? Okay. Yeah. So
repetitive.
yeah, have you ever played any like normal arpeggios before? Any of those
Um,
boring things that exercises
yes.
before? A lot of the times you'd be surprised. Like a lot of the times, like if just by playing, just I'm not telling you like you have to spend the rest of your life like. Well, you do need to spend the rest of your life playing it, but like playing these, but you don't have to spend forever a whole amount of your practice time doing it. But a lot of those things will help will help with a lot of the physical parts of it, and it'll fix a lot of it and stuff. So just playing a normal like B major arpeggio. You know can you play B major arpeggio? It's B, D sharp, F sharp, and B with those fingers like that. Yeah, just play it broken up. Yeah. So the thing about arpeggios is the physical part of it is like you're trying to make open a door, like right,
Yes.
like you're taking a
With
doorknob
the
and you're
wrist,
opening it,
yeah.
right? And so I like you need to be able to play most of your stuff in your left hand like that. And in a way that composers usually write things that are already physically written the way that you would normally, the motions that you would play. So you have it from here and then it goes up in there like a way. So your left hand can do that. Like you have all this limb here, like God gave you all this to use. Like you don't have to be so still. The stiller you are when you're playing stuff like that, the more tension that I've found that it comes. Like, does your left hand get tired the more you're sitting there playing like that?
Yeah,
So
kind of.
the way you get around that is you got to move a little bit more. So don't be
Okay.
afraid. So can you just play an arpeggio again, the same one we said? But be free with it. Yeah. So you're standing in one little position. It's gonna be hard if you try to play that for 10 minutes like that. Yeah. Be free. Yeah. Even in this. Yeah. So you're like, yeah, even in this is your elbow is like the thing that's gonna kill you the most. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, just be free with it. Yeah. Does that feel a lot better?
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is that people like the way we grew up, a lot of people are telling kids and people, you gotta be still, you gotta sit still when you play. Stop moving. Oh, my grandma, I can hear it just now. Stop moving. That's why you say like that. But like that's so natural for you to do that. It's the natural way for you to play, and it fixes every single thing that you already need. So that's why people like most of the people we want to encourage you to move while you're playing. It's not just so it looks pretty, it's so it helps you feel better. Like
Okay.
it's not, it has nothing to do, people always ask me like, why do you move? Like, is it like show kind of thing? Like, is that why you're always like wobbling? I was like, no, I'm doing it because like I'm like trying to like not kill, like die while I'm playing and stuff. So dude, like that's what it's for. And so like when you're playing this, yeah, so don't be afraid. Of course you're gonna play this really slowly. Like this is only just like a practice form. So you're not always gonna be, like a showy, like you're not like you're fishing and you're doing the whip and the nay nay or something while you're it's not like you're gonna do that every single time you play. So this is only just like for practice points. So like you would you're so here and you're gonna come all the way to there. That's where you're comfortable. Yeah. Try that. There you go. Yeah. So once you get used to it, it's already gonna be there. Like when you add the right hand, it's not something you're gonna have to think about twice because your hand's already naturally doing that. So just try doing that a little bit more. And the second thing I want to ask you is how loud do you want the first note to be in your right hand when it comes in?
Quiet. Like,
Quiet,
no.
quiet and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like quiet and stuff, but what I want you to think about is that's the first kind of impression that you get, like, because that's really when the piece starts to like. To me, in my idea, that's what the piece kind of starts. I hear like this big, cool, like wavy background, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. But what catches your ear is that first note. Yeah, that's what. So I want you I want you to be able to grasp like that first note is like when really that's when your piece starts. It doesn't start way back here. It starts whenever that comes in because this is your person. I feel like to me, I hear a person like this is what they're singing and stuff, and so that's what everybody's waiting for. And so if you play that, if it's kind of like quiet, it's like. No, it's not going to be interesting. Everybody's like, oh, we're still kind of listening to the same kind of same kind of song. So I want you to be careful to bring it out a lot more.
Okay.
And so it's still gonna be really pretty, and it's gonna be 1,000 times much more. Like it's gonna catch anybody's attention. We're like, oh, this is really cool. This is what I'm listening to. So try it. And it doesn't have to be like me. Like it's just something it's just a little bit more flesh into the, like you dig into the piano a little bit more instead of just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more, and it'll change the whole thing. Okay, so another question for you. I have another question for you. Have you tried experimenting on the different volume levels that you played the left hand to?
Yes.
Yeah. If you try, I think if you try to play so much, everything the same volume level, it's gonna cover up that really, really beautiful right hand. I think this whole piece is just like mostly right hand, but your left hand can add to that effect. It's hard to do. Like, it takes a lot of practice just to be able to do simple things like this. But you can start making this like the quieter and versus like you could change the volume level while you're playing it. So it's not all the same. Instead of because that's gonna overkill your right hand. But it takes a lot. It takes like half your life to play play that way.
Okay.
But it works off at the end. Trust me. I spend like days just doing simple stuff like that. But the effect is great. The effect is going to be so much greater. So try it now a little bit, and see if you notice a difference in it. That's cool. It's great. I have another question for you. Do you sing any?
I'm not good at
You're not good at it, but like when you hear this right hand part, I wanted to tell you that think about a person like either playing a different instrument or a different kind of texture to it. Like when you hear it in your head, when you're thinking about it, like when you're playing it, what comes to mind to you? Like, does it sound more like a violin or a flute?
The violin, definitely.
Yeah.
And then the flute and
Yeah.
violin a lot.
So yeah, so try to like bring that out when you're playing it, and necessarily when you. And also, I just want to ask you while you sing it too. If you sing it that way, it's gonna make you're gonna want to play it that way too. So. Obviously, like a person, like you're not gonna have like enough breath support. Like nobody has enough breath support to sing, like notes and stuff for like 16 measures over and stuff. But just to try to encourage like to do that a little bit more, so you have an idea like, oh, this is how I want this piece to go a little bit more. You know, you don't have to be next Mariah Carey. You don't have to be anybody, or you don't have to be like a Taylor Swift or anything to sing it. Just sing in your head, like sing in your head a little bit how this goes da 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 da. Just a little bit, so like the direction of this piece and like the direction of that line. And just by that line, I mean just by the right hand. Yeah, but this is really, really nice. I like what you're doing with it so far. This is great. Can you keep going after this part here?
Yeah.
I had another question for you. I'm sorry. I have like a million questions. So, have you tried playing this, like just the basis on like just the chords and just playing the right hand by itself, like with the chords?
It doesn't end well.
Does it end well? Yeah, but I ask you that it helps you know like what notes are coming in. Like I feel like you're like really concentrating you're figuring out what's what.
It does help with knowing the different chords. Yes.
Can you try that? Just putting this together. Like you don't have to play it at super fast. Like just take your go slow. So you have all of those together. Yeah. And now just hold it because it repeats itself, right? So now play your right hand. Now play this. Now I mean play the right hand too with it like this. That's all that's happening there. So that's all you really need to focus on. And then your next measure is what? I mean, you hear it now, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, does it make it a little bit easier to know what's going on? And then so in your brain, you go back when you get ready to go back. All you got to do is remember it's the same thing I'm playing here. You just got to break it up. So let's try it one more time playing just the chords. Can you start from here and go to there? Okay, now let's try it as it's written, like broken up. Yeah, that note is hard. It's a hard leap. It's always hard. It's always amazing, like how anybody manages to land all these notes when you're playing the piano. Because like you gotta be able to like see into the future before you get to the note that you're gonna jump to.
Especially playing
stuff.
fast.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do
it. Sometimes it's like you're praying to God, like you're gonna make that leap sometimes. Like, so it is like most of the time, but it's a thing that you get used to doing after you practice it so many times. You know, and you just practice like the jump a lot. Have you done that just enough, just practicing that leap? Just a leap from here to yeah, try it. Yeah, just do it. Can you just play it super slow from here, where you have that leap? Yeah. Slower than that, a lot slower than that. Really slow. Yeah, until you be able to get it right. Yeah, that's how fast you gotta play it. Okay. That's how fast you gotta play it. Now I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but like when it comes to practicing like hard things like that, that's the speed that you have to be able to do it, and so you can play it right. That's like you don't play it right until you've conquered it at that speed. Try one more time. That slow. Again, one more time, even slower than that. Bum bum. That's as far as slow as you gotta practice it. Like it's not. It takes a lot of time to enjoy this live training, but like it's not that difficult like to play really slow. But then when you get ready to come back faster, it's like that it comes back a lot faster to do it, and then you just gradually speed it up. But that's where you start that slow, like because you played it right then. I mean, it's harder to play faster. The more these little exercises that students come across that if they can't play it fast, you have to go back and do it really slow, because that's the true speed that you'll be able to play it at. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how fast you play it. It only counts if you get the note right or not. Okay, and then so that's as fast as you got to go. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody, like all professionals do that too. I'm telling you, I spend like all day doing stuff like that, just leaps, just like to there, and then I take that metronome and I push it up more to there and there. Ever doing that forever. Okay, it's cool. Where did I want it? It was this section. Can you start like up here, I guess? We'll get to that hard left hand part in a second. But what notes do you think is the most important? The top part. Yeah, that's good. But I also like want you to like not forget about the other notes that's inward
right hand.
That's in your right hand too, like that A and B. Because your right hand note is it's hard. I know it's hard to get them all. Like it's like to hear every single one of them, but in a balance, it's hard to do that. But I just want you to not forget about that note that's there too, because it brings out a whole different. You have a whole different line here. Like you have like this is one voice, like one person singing that, and then you have that person going. Yeah, the E, and then you have this happening at the same time. So that part is just as, to me, this is my opinion, but I think that part is just as important as that. So when you're having is, yeah. So try to bring that one out too. And another thing is, have you tried playing this in soft pedal too?
I haven't really used the soft pedal.
You haven't used the soft pedal?
No.
You should do it. It adds a whole different color to it. You should do it. Try it. So when you say soft pedal, don't let your brain think that you can still play loud, but it's still going to change the color. But yeah. Inner thumbs. Yeah, that's it. Try to back off from your left hand a little bit more so we can hear that right hand. That right hand sounds really, really beautiful. Yeah. You hear that? Yeah. Try it. Yeah, keep going. Okay. So, what do you think I'm going to tell you about this part? Chords. Yeah.
Wow.
There are chords, yeah. Even though it's way down here, that's just one chord, and this is one chord, and this is one chord back to that. It'll make your life a lot easier trying to figure it out. It'll help you learning a lot more. It'll help you learn it a lot faster if you play just the chords, yeah. First play just the chords, yeah. So all three of those together. And then this next chord. So that's where that next chord position, like the hand position, is going to go to. So you have this, the first one, and you can write it different letters. I like to do that, like color code my music a lot, so I know which one, like what sections, which A, B, or C. So you have this A chord, and you have like letter B, and it goes back to the same too. But that's where your hand's going to be, and then that's one section. It's just like I was talking about earlier when you have like these little. Well, I was talking to Thomas about this is one little exercise part here. Just this one section here, and then this one section here, and this one section here. So then you would go and paste them together. Just go really slow, and then you go. Of course, it's an octave. I'm playing really close. Yeah, just one section. Just play just this little. Yeah, that's it. That's your first part. Do it again, and then you went to the next section. You don't want to go any further than that because this is it, and you're just gonna put those two together. So now you're gonna start here and put these slow. You're gonna go. So listen, this is gonna sound like this. This is one part, and then you're gonna have just that separately, and then you're gonna go, and then you won't go any further until you get that together, and then you'll jump up the whole octave and do it up there. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the next part. And then the next part is that much. So yeah, so those are the two different ways you're gonna have to. It's gonna take you a lot of time. It's gonna take you a little bit of time. So that's the way you do it. You put those in chords, and then you practice it brokenly, but in separate like that. And it's gonna help, it'll help you figure out this part. This is really, really pretty. You play this really well. I like this. I'm gonna have to look up this music. And yeah, you played those really, really nice too. Like I didn't have anything. Yeah, you played those really, really well. This is great. It's great. So it's like just switch up your style a little bit. Like try to find different ways to make it even more prettier. You know, but it's a great piece though. Just experiment with it. That's all we really do in music. Like experimented with like it's because like you're gonna get tired of the piece like if you play it the same way, 5,000 like the same different ways. So branch out a little bit more and play. Experiment taking just like bringing out your left hand sometimes and bringing out your right hand sometimes. It really shapes up the piece. Like it opens like it's a whole different song to you then now, like when you think about it that way. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, cool.